Have you ever walked into a building and felt its energy? Know from the tingling in your spine, the goosebumps you get, that you're in somewhere special? It's how it feels every time you walk into Fenway Park. I've been there about 100 times. I get that feeling every time I go in. Fenway turned 100 this year, so it's a good time to talk about its icons, some of its personalities, and some of its special features. Every stadium has a foul pole and a left field wall, but none of them carry the persona of the ballpark quite like the one at Fenway does. The Green Monster is the first thing you notice when you walk into Fenway Park. It was built in 1934. It's a 37-foot high, 213-foot long wall, originally built to save the windows on Lansdowne Street from being broken from home runs. From 1934 to 1947, it had advertisements on it. In 1947, the team owner decided they should match the rest of the stadium, so he painted it green. That was how it became known as the Green Monster. Now is the most famous symbol for any baseball park in America. Coming off the Green Monster is the Carlton Fisk pole. Carlton Fisk pole was famous for the Game 6 of the World Series when Carlton Fisk hit a home run off it, put the Red Sox to Game 7, which they lost. But the actual home run itself isn't what made it famous. It was the image of Carlton Fisk after he hit the home run, when the ball was headed foul, just jumping out the first baseline, wishing this ball fair. Ball curved, hit the pole, and it won. A shot that never would have happened if the cameraman, Lou Goodell, in the Green Monster, wasn't watching Carlton Fisk, supposed to follow the track of the ball, but looked down and found a rat on his leg. He was interviewed by Matt Crossman of Sporting News and told Matt Crossman that his job was to follow the track of the ball, but when he looked down, saw a rat on his leg the size of a cat, he was too afraid to move. So he got the image of Carlton Fisk waving the ball fair, became the most iconic image, made the foul pole famous. Now, poles and walls are fun to talk about, but it takes people to make a park truly special. Babe Ruth, Connie Yastrzemski, Ted Williams, some of the most famous names to ever go through Boston. And there's no doubt their feats made Boston what it is. But for true Bostonians, people like Thomas Yawkey and Johnny Pesky are what gave the park its history. Thomas Yawkey was the greatest owner the Red Sox ever had. This isn't just me saying it. Albert Chen, a writer for Sports Illustrated, did a full article of him called Mr. Fenway just this summer. Thomas Yawkey bought the team in 1934, owned it till he died in 1976. When he bought the team, he was 30 years old. Paid $1.5 million for the team. Now, what made him loved by all the Boston fans is as soon as he bought it, he paid another $1.5 million in renovations. Instead of hiring contractors from around the country, at a time during the Great Depression when people needed money, he hired all of the rebuilders from the Boston community. Once the park was built, he started inviting all the teenage kids into the park to shag fly balls during batting practice. He paid every kid who did it $20. Doesn't sound like a lot of money, but at the time, the average grocery bill for a family was $11. So most of the kids made more than the rest of the family. Another member of Red Sox Nation that everyone loves is Johnny Pesky. Johnny Pesky spent 7 decades with the Red Sox. He was a rookie in 1942, went to the Marines for 3 years, came out of the Marines, played another 7 years in Boston when they traded him to Minnesota. He played in Minnesota for 3 months, quit, retired from baseball, came back to Boston as a coach. He coached Boston until 1962 when they named him manager. Did a really bad job as manager, so he moved back to the spring training coach, where he played every season at the spring training coach in Fenway and down in Florida, and became the ambassador of Red Sox Nation. When he died in August of this year, he not only got the largest standing ovation at the 100-year celebration, larger than any of the 2004 World Championship team, but he was also quoted by Bud Selig, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, saying, "Johnny Pesky, who led a great American life, was the embodiment of loyalty and goodwill the Boston Red Sox and all in Major League Baseball." So Fenway Park is now 100 years old, and a lot of generations have enjoyed Red Sox baseball there. If you're lucky enough to talk to someone who's been, they're going to tell you about the Green Monster. They'll probably talk to you about the Carlton Fisk pole. If you're really lucky and you talk to a Bostonian, they'll tell you about Thomas Yawkey. They'll tell you about Johnny Pesky. Any way you look at it, whether you love baseball or hate baseball, even if you're a freaking Yankees fan, you're more than welcome to come down to Fenway Park, enjoy a beer and a dog at a wicked awesome ballpark.